1MDB has sparked embezzlement and money laundering investigations across
one of the
at least
biggest
10
corruption
countries.
scandals the world has ever seen.
What may be the biggest financial scam in history.
A number of corrupt 1MDB officials treated this public trust as a personal bank account.
Follow us as we bring you into the courtroom where the biggest financial scandal in Malaysian history is being heard. By the Malaysian Insight, this is the Najib Razak 1MDB trial, and I'm Patrick Teo. 1MDB's $2.2 billion murabaha notes were converted to $2.3 billion in promissory notes, but details were never sent to the company board, the prosecution's 13th witness told the court today. Ismee Ismail, who is 1MDB's former director, also agreed with defense lawyers that the conversions were done without Najib Razak's approval. It is Monday, April 4th, and Najib's 1MDB trial resumed at the Kuala Lumpur High Court this morning. Najib is standing trial for graft involving 2.28 billion ringgit in 1MDB funds. He faces 25 charges, 4 for abuse of power and 21 for money laundering, for offences committed between 2011 and 2013. Najib's lead counsel spent the whole day grilling Ismee over the conversion of 1MDB's murabaha notes into promissory notes, which turned out to be worthless. The lawyer started by asking Ismee about the conversion of the murabaha notes into a 49% equity in Petro Saudi Oil Services Limited, or PSOL. Ismee said the conversion was done to better assess the value of investment because the value of murabaha notes was difficult to ascertain. Shafi then asked Ismee if he was aware that the 1MDB management converted the notes into various iterations to avoid the scrutiny of its auditor, KPMG. "I can't be sure," Ismee replied to the lawyer's question. The murabaha notes started out as a $1 billion investment by 1MDB into a joint venture with Petro Saudi International. 1MDB subsequently terminated this JV in return for $2.2 billion in murabaha notes instead of cash. This $2.2 billion from the conversion was then used by 1MDB to purchase a 49% stake in PSOL. 1MDB then sold its stake in PSOL to Bridge Partners International Investments, a Hong Kong-based firm, in exchange for 6 promissory notes worth $2.3 billion. The 6 promissory notes were subsequently invested in Bridge Global Absolute Return Fund SPC by 1MDB's British Virgin Islands Incorporated Special Purpose Vehicle, Brazen Sky Limited. At Bridge Global Absolute Return Fund SPC, the Singapore branch of Swiss bank BSI Bank acted as the fund manager of the purported investment. This was allegedly orchestrated by former BSI employees Yeo Jia Wei and Yak Yu Chi, who were associates of businessman Low Tek Joe or Joe Low. Meanwhile, Brazen Sky, according to previous witnesses in the case, was set up to bring home to Malaysia investment funds from PSOSL. It was later revealed during the trial that the 6 promissory notes were completely worthless, and the entire transaction from murabaha notes to the promissory notes only took place on paper and was a sham investment. 1MDB never saw a single sen in return for investment. Shafi asked Ismee what exactly is a promissory note. "It's an IOU, a promise to pay," Ismee replied. "Looking at it now, do you find that these 6 promissory notes that were issued to 1MDB, I cannot find, for lack of a better word, the management were trying to fool 1MDB?" the lawyer asked. "Going and accepting a promissory note for billions from a nobody. It's almost a joke," Shafi continued. Shahrul Halmi, as the former CEO and the management, cannot be foolish enough to accept this and not put it to the board, bearing in mind their qualification, Shafi put it to Ismee, who agreed with the lawyer's assessment. When asked if the promissory notes were ever shown to the 1MDB board, Ismee said no. The lawyer then put it to Ismee that the board never sought Najib's approval pursuant to Article 117 of 1MDB's Memorandum and Article of Association, which required the former Prime Minister's approval for the promissory notes. Yes, they never went to the Prime Minister, Ismee answered. And with that, Shafi wrapped up for the day. The trial will continue tomorrow morning. Thank you for listening. This podcast was brought to you by the Malaysian Insight. It was written by Revati Subramaniam, and I'm Patrick Teo.